Okay, this is our fall aerobic compost pile. It's just at the fall equinox we're starting, and this particular pile is going to be a little different than the last batch, whereas this is all dairy cow manure. And I was fortunate that he was cleaning out the calf barn, so I got some chopped straw mixed in with it. So that's going to fulfill some of the carbon requirement. Again, a generalized ratio is 1/3 nitrogen, which is manure, 1/3 brown material, which will be mostly chopped straw, but I have some dried stems and whatnot from the garden located around, and also 1/3 green material, which I have plenty of right now. And soon, after we get the frosts, that's all going to be gone, so I've got to start this pile now before the frost kills off. You know, the primary plants would be like comfrey and the squash plants. That's what I get a lot of in the fall. So here we go. I got a little different spot I'm working now. This is a little knob right here. A little bit higher ground. This is probably the highest ground here in the backyard. So now any of the residue will work itself down over time. I'm just going to be spreading this out. I'll be getting more room after I get the fence out of the way. That's what the camera is on right now, is the fence. So you can see the straw in it. And I'm just going to layer this manure and straw combination with green material and a little brown material. This is what I raked off the spot. Morning glory and some weeds. A little dry material. Okay, another load of manure. Oh, here's a mullein. We'll do some manure and then I'll go look for some comfrey, which I got it all over the place. So these first couple layers I'm making comfrey. Comfrey contains a lot of nitrogen. That'll also help kick this pile off. So that's horseradish. Okay, this batch of green is predominantly mullein. There's a little bit of yarrow in here and a little bit of burdock. And I'll have one more pile like that coming. Right now it's time to take a break. Alright, this that's on the pile right now is all comfrey, and this is mostly thistle with a little bit of goldenrod, burdock, and yarrow. Alright, this is the first compost pile in the fall of 2015. Something new, we've got some fresh cow manure, something I haven't worked with before, and it's mixed thoroughly with chopped straw. So that's 2 of the 3 elements that we're looking for. Manure, the brown material, which is the carbon, the chopped straw, and then the green material I've been adding from my backyard here. And we're going to be adding a few more elements from the first time. So I'm going to get at it. Okay, let's see what we got. Feels a little dry. So we're taking the top of the pile first, and we want to put the top of the pile, or the outer layers, into the center of the new pile. And the inverse would be the center of this pile would be the outside of the new pile. We got a little bit of steam. Look at that. It's not too dry. When I first started doing this, I had to take like 15 breaks.
Really?
Yeah. The last pile I did last spring, I was in pretty good shape, and I didn't take a single break.
Uh-huh.
But now I feel it this time. Must not have been doing as much work as normal. So the stringy stuff that's in here is, I've got a combination of comfrey and I got thistle, a lot of thistles.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite digested. If we let her go one more day, and I'm doing it one day early because we're going up north.
So you made straw manure?
What's that?
Straw manure?
There's cow manure and chopped straw together.
Okay.
And then I layered it with all the green material from the yard.
Okay.
Last year I kept the pile going for 64 days.
Okay.
And everything I had here was all composted. This was barren. But this year I'm going to leave the food forest, have the herbaceous for cover for the birds and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to take everything out of the garden. The garden will be totally bare except for mounds of straw over the beds.
Want me to do some of this?
No, I don't want you to get worked up.
Okay. No big deal, man.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Well, I want to preserve you. I started this a little late. I should have started this probably like a week ago. I had to go to Seattle and marry my son off, and that screwed my schedule all up. It's a week to get ready, and you're there for a week, and then you're so tired you can't do nothing for a week when you get back.
Right.
So that's 3 weeks out of my routine. And although I'm glad I went that he was married and everything, and I got to see that, it still creates a problem.
Right.
For me, for the way I do things. Some guys can fly all over the world and be somebody different every single week. I can't do it. I visited the food forest in Seattle.
How was that?
It was pretty nice. They didn't do it like by the book. You want a succession. It turns into this and then that and then this.
Yeah.
They were more mean, they were good. They were polyculture. There was a lot of mixture, but there wasn't any thought to succession. So if I had to say something that they can improve on, that would be one thing. But otherwise, it was pretty nice. I mean, I was eating raspberries, and what else were we eating? Aronia. Aronia was pretty ripe, and it was actually kind of sweet.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the heck else I was eating.
How many trees did you have?
Not a lot. I got video of the whole thing.
Oh, I would love to see that.
And at some point, I'll edit it out.
Yeah, because I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never even seen pictures of it.
Beacon Road Food Forest.
That's Jenny Pell. Did you meet her? Or?
Nobody was there.
Nobody was there.
Nobody was there. We were by ourselves. Wow. It was like a Wednesday morning or late morning. No, it was morning. And I just helped myself. Squash leaves has a very high mineral content. So it's good to compost all your squash leaves. And this stinging nettle is one of the highest rated for mineral content as well. So getting stinging nettle in is really a good element to add to your compost, because it's going to put all those minerals in your soil. And if you want to be healthy, you want to be eating vegetables that are nutritious with minerals. So on this property there aren't any weeds, because weeds by definition is a plant that's not wanted. We want them all. A diverse amount of wild plants will give you a diverse mineral base in your soil. And if you don't agree with that, or if you think that that's too much effort, then you ought to just eat the food from the commercial farms, because that's what they produce. That soil that they're growing food in is long since gone sterile. There's no life in their soil, and consequently it has very little mineral content. At least that's soluble to plants. If you have a compost pile, you're going to bypass all of that. A lot of people take vitamin supplements. You don't need to when you grow food like this. That's comfrey right there.
The white powder or the black stuff?
The black stuff. If I would have waited one more day, like I said, it probably would have been pretty much gone. Comfrey is really high in nitrogen. It's almost as good as meat. Human.
Human here?
Yep. You may find it hard to believe, but there's arsenic and cadmium in here. It's soluble. Plants actually need trace amounts of it. And plus, it's nitrogen. Okay, folks, that's the second turn, 2015. It turned pretty good, and I actually didn't add as much green material as I thought I was going to, because the green material that I had already originally added was still green. So we're going to let this cook a couple more days now. We're going to turn her again, so we'll see you then. Thanks.